Live. It stars Over the Prairie with 8-time Minnesota Music Award-winning songwriter, musician, author, and historian, Paul Metsa. Check out previous show podcasts at KDAL610.com. Now, here's Paul Metsa.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the Northland, and those of you streaming around the world. You are listening to Stars Over the Prairie. On the Big K, my name is Paul Metsa. I'm your host, have been for about a year and a half. I got my wingman, Chris Allen, in today. We've got a really great show. We've got a couple of great guests. We're going to be talking with Tina Schlesky, who has been fronting her band Tina in the B-Sides and a few other projects for years. She is playing up at Music in the Park in Silver Bay on August 29th and 30th. More info for that. They do an outdoor show in the park and then a private show that is a fundraiser to keep that program going. Go to RockyWallEntertainment.org. That whole thing is put on by my buddy Nelson French. He just does a great job of bringing music to that part of the North Shore. After that, we've got Joe Loma in the second half of the hour. Joe is one of the greatest drummers in Minnesota. He and I have been playing together since about 1977. And besides the fact he can play the greatest train beat in the history of Minnesota drummers, he's also a vintage drum collector and goes to a lot of drum shows around the country showing off his wares and does some horse training with that, and also invented a pair of drumsticks that he's done really well with over the last 40 years. We're going to be talking about all that. Chris, give me just a little more my voice in the headphones, please. There we go. But let's talk. If today was your birthday, dear Virgo, I'm going to give you the year of head for you. It looks good. The new moon in your solar return chart suggests that you will instinctively begin a new phase of your life this year. A decision, a new direction has come about in your life. This can be an emotionally stimulating time in which you feel the urge to initiate and project, even if you are not quite clear about what you are projecting. Much of the energy in your life can have a magical quality to it, as things are just automatically going in a certain direction. It is important to be intuitive this time and allow the natural course to show you the way to the next step. And that horoscope is coming to you on Stars Over the Prairie, where we interview stars, people that used to be stars, people that want to be stars, people that just go outside at night and look at the stars. And we are it's been a while, but 237 somersaults down the hill from Bob Dylan's childhood home. Am I correct on that, Chris? Or was it 236?
It was 236 for a while, and then I think as 2025 came along, it went to 237. There may have been a remeasuring.
I brought in the high tech folks from the Duluth Public Works to nail that one down. Hey, if it's your birthday today, you're sharing it with some very cool people. Gene Kelly, star of stage and screen. He was a dancer, a singer, and an actor. Of course, his big movies were American in Paris and the legendary Singin' in the Rain. Was born in 1912 in Pittsburgh, PA.
Wow.
Passed away in 1996. Now, I know you are a big fan of Barbara Eden, who turns 94 today. The star, Chris, of I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
She had it going on.
She was ahead of her time, too. She was bared the midriff. Yeah. And that was the first woman that did that on television.
And besides that, beautiful blonde, you also had the Bewitched gal. Mm-hmm. And so it was a feast for the eyes for young men and women across the American television landscape back there in the late 60s and the 70s. Hey, and let's not forget one of the greatest drummers in rock and roll, Keith Moon from The Who, was born in London, England in 1946, passed away too young in 1978. Did you ever had the chance to hear The Who at all?
Oh, yeah.
Where?
Oh, gosh, I don't remember.
Rock shows are kind of like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shows I love, but I don't remember. I've never seen The Who. I've seen clips, they go back out with Daltrey and Townsend, and they had Zach Starkey, Ringo's son, for a while, but I guess they canned him.
They canned him, yeah.
That is a tough, that one of many drummers they canned after Keith. That is a tougher drum seat to carry than playing drums for Spinal Tap.
Well, you got to nail it. I mean, really, you have to nail it.
With
And
The
Keith
Who.
Moon is hard to nail. I would hate to be the drummer for Led Zeppelin or The Who.
Yeah.
Right now.
No doubt. Or back then.
Yeah.
I don't know if we told the people out there in the Stars Over the Prairie Radio Land about your new dog, Danny. How's Danny doing? Tell them how you got Danny and what kind of dog Danny is. And I need the update this week, Daniel's update.
Yeah. So Dan is a black Great Dane. He's about 3 years old. And
so how many pounds is that?
Oh, my gosh. A lot, because he thinks that he's a person, and he also thinks that he's a small lap dog. So when he likes to sleep on the bed, and when he gets up there, he just plops. And that's like, 100 pounds plopping on you.
Right.
But yeah, and he thinks he's a person, and he just, he walks up to you, and he'll, get up on you, and I'm 6 feet, and he's taller than me when he gets up on me. So we try and discourage that. But it happens when he gets the zoomies, he gets all excited and everything, and then whoop, he cuts. It's like, holy cow. But he's just the most loving dog. He was a rescue dog that we got. And they said they found him alongside of the highway.
Wow.
And the way this dog is, I don't know who would want to get rid of him. He's just the most loving dog and just loves attention and doesn't get aggressive ever or anything. He's just the softest guy.
Nice.
And, we are very lucky to have gotten him.
So for Daniel's eating needs, how big of the bag of food you got to get, and how many times you got to get it in a month?
Oh my gosh, we figured out that we got a 30-pound bag, and it lasted 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, he eats a lot, and we're not supposed to give him that much. It's about 2.5 to 3 cups per serving. We give him 2 meals a day, and that guy just chows it down. And like I said, he goes through food really fast.
Well, we are big dog rescue people, both Chris and I. I've got, of course, my second formal rescue, Blue Guitar Highway 61 Metsa that I got in 2014, and then I'm fostering Mabel, a Springer Spaniel that I might be a foster fail. I'm not sure. But boy, my 2 dogs get along. Truthfully, Chris, I let them out. I let them out for the last time at about 1 a.m. I'm very surprised that the neighbors haven't called animal control because they like to make a little noise there at night. But they're just they gotta they're keeping the yard safe. I've got a fenced-in yard. That's the one thing I wanted when I bought my house. But during the day, it's amazing how many people walk by. A lot of kids going to and from school that love Mabel in particular. Mabel jumps up on the fence. She can't get over, thank God. And several times a week I look out my window when I'm working on my computer, and there's a little girl, little boy petting Mabel, and I've occasionally got some pictures. And it's just what dogs bring to the world. Like I've said for years, spell dog backwards.
Yeah.
Say, Chris, I had a most amazing gig last Sunday at Moe's in Mounds View. We reunited my band from the Iron Range Cats Under the Stars. It was the 50-year reunion to the day that we did our first gig as an acoustic bluegrass band, bluegrass and country and folk and blues up at Alcott Park in Virginia. We had a great banjo player who became a bass player when we went electric named Skip Nellemark, who has since passed away. So we did the gig in his honor, and our other friend Steve Baker, who had recently passed away at the end of May. But we had all the original members, Tim O'Keefe on harmonica and congas, Jack Pasternacki on guitar from the south side of Virginia, like myself. I played guitar, lead guitar, and rhythm. And we had the great Al Oikry, who started playing with the Cats in the early 80s. He, of course, is also the keyboard player for the Big Woo. Mm-hmm. Joe Loma on drums, who started playing with us in 77, who we will be speaking with in the second part of the show. And Jimmy Anton on bass guitar, who I gave his first gig to when I had the Paul Metsa group. He came into town from the Berklee School of Music. He was just a young, handsome man, 18 years old. He came on a Friday night. The bass player that I was using, for some reason, had to cancel, so I had a fill-in bass player. He gave me his card, and I said, come on over to the apartment tomorrow morning. What are you doing tomorrow night? He said, nothing. I said, I have a good feeling going to be playing bass with the Paul Metsa group, which he did for years, and now he's back. He also did about 12 years playing bass for Johnny Lang.
Oh, wow.
Oh, he's one of the best bass players in the Midwest. So we're going to listen to a little, this was actually the Paul Metsa group at the Guthrie Theater, but it featured Jack Pasternacki, Tim O'Keefe, and Joe Loma. A little music for you, the song I wrote called Spanish Bride, and then we will get the great Tina Schlesky on the air from Tina and the B-Sides. I'm really excited to talk to this next woman. She's playing up in Silver Bay with Tina and the B-Sides August 29th and the 30th. They're doing an outdoor show, free concert in the park. And then the next night there's a fundraiser at a really cool log cabin with a great view of Lake Superior. Go to RockyWallEntertainment.org. But let me tell you a little about Tina Schlesky. She is a Midwestern rock mainstay and sensation. I used to see her rock the Caboose Bar in the mid-'80s. I saw her at First Avenue, and she is just about as dynamic as a performer as you'll see. Always has a great band with her, whether it's Lola and the Red Hots or Tina and the B-Sides, and I believe her sister Laura still might be playing with her. We'll ask her about that. She released several records on her own label, Movement Records, then did a couple records with Sire, after meeting Seymour Stein in a elevator. But over the years, she has performed with such acts as Lenny Kravitz, the Wallflowers, the Indigo Girls, Etta James, and more. And she's been in the recording studio with people who played with Bob Dylan and Tom Petty, including, and I want to ask her about their James Burton, Elvis Presley's guitar player. She lives out in California, but she's blessed us with coming back to Minnesota every now and then. And with that, I would like to welcome back my old friend who I haven't had a chance to talk to in years, Tina Schlesky. Tina, how are you?
I'm good, Paul. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was a very flattering introduction, so thank you for that.
Well, you deserve it all. You are a very talented performer and songwriter that plays in a variety of styles these days. I would love to check out your Sinatra to Simone Lounge Act. That sounds like a gas.
Yeah, it really is. It's fun. Yeah.
Do you do that out in Santa Barbara, or do you take it on the road, or you just got a regular gig for that?
I do. I do it in Santa Barbara occasionally. I haven't done it in a while. You know, COVID kind of stopped that steamroll, that I was doing. It was kind of doing it more and more, but then it just kind of came to a screaming halt. But but I still occasionally, I don't take it on the road like I wanted to, but the world kind of changed a bit there.
Oh, for sure. Now, you have the distinction of having one of the stars at First Avenue, which I see in my dreams every now and then. But I've seen you at the Caboose at First Avenue way back when, and I'm just so happy to see you're still rocking. What kind of a band are you taking up to Silver Bay?
So it's pretty much the original B-Sides.
Oh, cool.
So Ronnie, Karen, Jeremy Plum, my sister Laura, and one of the original guitar players, Patrick Tanner, is joining us, and then Brian Zimaniak, who's my keyboardist, who became a B-side a few years ago, but he also plays in when I do like Tina Schlesky and Friends, and he's played in my jazz band as well. So Brian is, he's an amazing addition to the B-sides.
And a great guy. Right. He's played with the Metsa group over the years, and with Cats and the Stars when we got back together. One of the best keyboard players in town. Married to a very talented singer himself. And, of course, Patrick Tanner, God, I met way back when. I'm going to try to make it up if I can for the weekend. When's the last time? Do you ever get up in? I know you get back to Minneapolis. You got a sensational review when you played with the New Standards with their Christmas show. John Bates, and you rock the house. So, but how many times a year do you get back to Minnesota?
I would say this year it hasn't been as much. There's been some, I became a grandma, so our daughter gave us the twins. I've been I've been at home a little bit more, but typically I get back to Minnesota at least once a month or once every other month type of situation. And I love Minnesota, and that will never change as far as I love the music community there. The audiences are just incredible. I've been so fortunate that people still, enjoy my shows and want to come out and see them, and so it's wonderful. I feel very lucky that I'm able to come back to Minnesota and play as often as I do.
Well, you have a very fervent and loving fan base. I just did my band Cats and the Stars. They were playing around the same time you were in the cities. We're older than you, but we did our 50th anniversary last Sunday to the day. And so some of those folks that used to come and see us when they were, back then you can get in the bars when you were 18, when they were 18, 19, 20, 21, going to the St. Thomas and McAllister and Hamlin and the University of Minnesota. Now they're showing up with their kids. They're in their mid to late 50s and 60s. And I'm sure you see this with your audience. It's especially, because you've got longtime fans, that it not only do they enjoy the music you're performing that night on that stage, but it also brings them back to that happy place when they just were getting introduced and starting to love your music. And so it brings them, there's a beautiful nostalgic that's happening in real time that's actually will go into the future. So you must feel that as a performer.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. It's a very, it's such a, like what you just said, it's such an odd feeling, watching you kind of grow old with the people that you've been playing for so many years, and you watch them go through their life changes and getting older, and that we're still all here, and it's crazy. It's really crazy.
Well, and I think, and you and I are, I'm probably a little older than you, but we're in this kind of the same age group. The thing about our generation is those people still love to listen to live music. God bless each and every one of them.
Yep, it's very, very true.
They don't sit around looking at their phones wondering, whatever the next thing is going to happen there. So, tell us about, now you had, when you met Seymour Stein and you had a couple of records out on Sire, what was your experience with, that's major label territory there. What was your experience with that?
Oh, it was a bit, it's a mixed bag. On one hand, I was really proud that, we worked as hard as we did and we got the attention of some labels and we were able to get signed. But then on the other hand, it was a bit of a nightmare because we weren't the type of band, and it still, I think, shows in who I am as an artist that you can't really pinpoint me down. And I think that they were having a problem. They didn't really know where to put us as far as do we put them in alt rock or Americana, or do we put them in female pop stuff that was happening at the time? And so we got kind of lost in the cracks. And so for me, I found it a very frustrating. I was very thankful that we got signed. I was grateful for that, but it was also a very kind of frustrating and depressing time for me because I just felt like our band wasn't getting the attention that we needed and the backing that we needed. And so it kind of, it just was sort of like, you're working so hard for 10 years and all of a sudden it's just bleh.
Right.
It's like,
right.
And so, but I was fortunate that I was determined not to become one of those bitter, resentful type of bands or artists that just all of a sudden, like, the world sucks, music sucks, and all that stuff. So, when they came along and they said they wanted to do another record, I just said, you know what, let's just part ways. I think we're done here.
Right.
And so, and then the band, we all kind of just took a hiatus, but now it's just great. Like, now we're all coming back together again, and we have been, for quite a few years now. But, it was kind of it was, I definitely, looking back, I wish I would have done something, different. But,
right.
What can you do?
I appreciate your insights into that because, you did a record with covering a lot of Minnesota artists, and you look at, Soul Asylum and Husker Du. But God bless all those guys. I love Perner. I love Bob Mould. And they've all kind of succeeded. But they've, and you can go as far as Prince and look at, the top of the pops with Prince Rogers Nelson, how tough it is to navigate that major label world, which is just, snakes and vipers.
Yeah. No, it's true. And I still don't, I think it was Chappell Roan today, this year on the Grammys, when she, kind of called out the record labels about, just in the sense of like giving, artists more of a living cost, right. rather than just a big, huge chunk of money. And that, and that it is this appropriated the money that the artists work so hard to make, and yet all of the fat cats at the top, are keeping it all. So it's it's frustrating, and hopefully that kind of financial equality, that could change a bit and get more, dispersed, so then an artist can actually make a living wage on a label, writing music and performing and touring. That would be incredible.
Yeah, and kick in and help us with our health care.
Exactly.
You know what? The one thing when I was doing a little research on you, Tina, was that you have you're kind of a music director and a mentor for a program called Sing It Out. Are you still doing that? Tell us about that.
So I haven't done that in a couple of years now, but it isn't. I still dip my toe and stay involved in different ways. But it's an incredible program that there was an organization here that's called AHA, and it helps kids that are that they're a little disfranchised, or they don't have a stable home, or they're in foster care, or they're just kind of neglected in some way or another. And so it's like this particular was an after school program that I did, where kids would come and they don't have any singing experience and they're not musicians, and we sort of like take them through like a 16-week program, and we give them a song to sing, and then we perform live with them in front of an audience of their family and friends, and it's really unbelievable. It's such a cool transformation to see these kids that are in shells and feeling a little bit down on life or their self-esteem, and they're getting this they get built up.
Yeah.
They get positive attention and reinforcement about accomplishing a goal and doing something very, like, we all know what it feels like as musicians. I know that you feel the same, like those moments where you get on stage and you're scared, but you did it. And like you walk off that stage, it's like, yeah, man, I friggin' did it. And it's giving those kids that type of feeling as well. And it's very moving. It's very, it's really cool.
Well, God bless you. Tina, I know we just got a minute or two left because you've got a busy schedule today, but through our friend Molly Mayer, you purchased a Gibson Hummingbird guitar of mine a few years back. Is that guitar treating you well? And were you able to dig some songs out of that sound hole, that beautiful instrument?
Oh, I did. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. I've been playing it. It's like, how you kind of switch around, and I've been, playing the Hummingbird quite a bit lately. I love that guitar, and I don't know how easy it was for you to part with it, but I appreciate, the former owner of this beautiful guitar, and I have written quite a few songs on it, so thank you.
You know what we're going to have to do? Take a picture of you and that guitar so I have something to look at. No, I was, it was one of those things. We've all been through it. I needed some money, but I was so glad it went to a person that I know was going to enjoy it. Let's do this in the future when you get a minute. Let's see if we'll get hooked up. I got to see a picture of you and that guitar, and let's see if we can write a song together. I think we might be able to come up with something fun.
That would be very cool. I would love that, Paul. That's great.
All right, Tina and the B-Sides. It's Tina Schlesky. She's up at the Silver Bay Music in the Park, August 29th and 30th. She's doing a private show, which is a fundraiser for what they're doing up there. Go to RockyWallEntertainment.org. Tina, if I don't get a chance to see you, I'll be getting reports, and it's so nice to speak with you again. I've been a big fan of yours for a long time.
No, it's mutual, Paul. Thank you so much. Been a fan of yours as well.
All right.
Thank you.
You have a beautiful day.
All right, you too.
Thank you. We're going to hear from people that keep us on the air, and then we got Joe Loma coming up.
Gray Wolf Lodge, located on gorgeous Pelican Lake in beautiful Orr, is the great getaway in northern Minnesota. Featuring affordable, modernized cabins that rent by the week or even a few days, Gray Wolf Lodge is your place to treat the family or just yourself for a relaxing time away from it all. With great fishing, yoga classes, massage, boat rentals, a sandy beach, a common gathering area with a fire pit, and the gorgeous and rustic Gray Wolf Lodge, hosts John and Carol have thought of everything for your unforgettable stay. Give them a call at 1-800-840-9653 or go to GrayWolfLodge.com to see all that they have to offer. Gray Wolf Lodge, your home away from home in the North Woods.
I'm Lucas, and I had Z-LASIK at Weiss Eye Center. Went great. Little to no pain yesterday. Surgery went great. Everything else went home, took a nap, woke up, and haven't really had any pain since. Everybody was super nice and talked you through every step of the way, and I barely had to ask any questions because they knew what to say. They filled it all in. For me, it'll just be snowmobiling's my big one. I try to do a lot of riding in the winter. I farm in the summer, so this year was a big difference where a couple of times I had to borrow somebody's helmet so I put my glasses on and ride because just the weather conditions, everything else, out there riding blind. So I'm really excited for that. It's well worth the money, and it's going to change my life for a long time, I'll tell you that.
Weiss Eye Center is the only clinic to offer blade-free Z-LASIK in the Northland. To find out more and to arrange your free consultation, call 218-625-1917 today or visit WeissEyeCenter.com for more information. Weiss Eye Center. See the best.
You're listening to Stars Over the Prairie with Paul Metsa right here on KDAL.
Joe Loma. Joe, how are you this morning?
Hey, Paul, doing good. Greetings from sunny Egan.
There you go. Hey,
64 degrees finally and low humidity. Man, after this wet, soggy summer. And also hello to everybody in that beautiful Arrowhead region and Wisconsin. Love that land up there. Yeah.
Well, you come from, you're right outside of Eveleth, a suburb of Ely Lake. And you and
Eveleth, yeah. Eveleth, Paul. 3 E's and none of them are silent.
Well, and like I said,
my new slogan for Eveleth. There you go.
And as part of Fayal Township, they spell it F-A-Y-A-L. Us in Virginia would spell it differently, but hey, let's keep that. Let's keep that out there.
Fayal Township looking good.
Hey, Joe Loma, you and I, you started playing with Cats and the Stars in 1977. What did it feel like last week to get back and play with the boys as the Cats celebrated our 50th anniversary to the day?
Wow, 50 years, Paul. You know, playing with friends especially, and everybody's still playing great. So it was just a really special moment. Also, the weather, oh man, fingers crossed. It looked like we were going to get killed by the rain, but fortunately the heavens broke and gave us a chance to get that gig in, and that was very special. I even talked with Jeff for quite a while afterwards, and he was super happy with the whole thing. A lot of people turned out. Everybody had a good time. Saw a lot of people I haven't seen for ages. So it was all in all just a great, great day.
Well, the thing was, and I just had Tina Schlesky on, and she's had a long career like I have, and you have, and how, I hadn't seen some of those people since the mid-'80s, when they were going to college. I had one guy came up and said, hey, man, Cats Under the Stars was my soundtrack for my college years. So to see them still digging the music, because, people did really, truly love our band. And so it's so nice to see them out as they are advancing in age like all of us, still digging music.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't. Who was on first, Paul?
Tina Schlesky from Tina and the B-Sides.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Shimoleski. Okay. No,
they're on before 8.
Yeah, they're actually on KDAL in the morning.
Damn, I'm the rim shot. I'm the drummer. What the hell? Yeah, I need a drum here. Anyway, I got to tell you, Paul, though, at the beginning of this month, I was headed up to Grand Marais to play my usual fisherman's picnic gigs. And coming into Duluth, there was so much smoke.
Oh, I know.
I could barely make out the bridges. And my first thought was, man, Metsa should really cut down on his weed habit.
That would have been in the 80s.
Yeah.
See, I thought it was legal back then. Crazy. I thought it was, I always thought weed was legal. But anyway, Joe, let's talk about, you've got several quirky habits. One is you have every calendar every year of every gig you've ever played. When did you start that, and how many gigs would that represent?
Okay, well, I started playing drums when I was 11, and when I was 12 and 13 into 14, I was playing with my brother's high school rock and roll band, very successful. We were playing in the regional area, even up to Ashland, Wisconsin, Two Harbors, the Iron Range. So I don't have any of those, but I happened to pick up these little pocket Hallmark calendars, and that's where I kept my book. I booked the bands, and I would keep a list of everybody I played with, where it was, if anything interesting happened. And so that would have to be in high school, 1968 New Year's Eve.
Okay.
The Royal Bar in Virginia, I remember I was just a kid. They needed a drummer, and they told me, hey, kid, on the breaks, just go play the pinball machine.
Mugga Santelli, yep.
That's it, $50 in 1968, man, for a kid in high school. That was something, because my friends had to work weeks at the gas station to make that money.
Well, and 50 years later, there's probably some gigs you play that don't pay a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that special? Yeah.
Hey, so how many gigs do you think you've played, Joe Loma?
Oh, with the Cats?
No, overall, Joe Loma's career.
Thousands. Oh, God. I have some calendars where I played with 24 bands in that 1 year.
Wow.
But of course, Paul, being a drummer, it's easier to fill in with a band. I don't have to worry about chord changes and stuff. And if I make a mistake, I can cover it with this drum fill or whatever, So it is a lot easier for a drummer. But in fact, I think I played, even about 5 years ago, I played with 10 or 12 different bands.
Wow. Well, and a good point.
So how many gigs I played is way too many.
Right. Well, it's, I just saw our buddy the day before we played, Bobby Vandella played with Jesse Johnson and all that whole Prince family and Lamont Cranston sitting behind the kit with Sherwin Linton.
Oh, yeah. Great, yeah. Well, I got to play with some great people like Del Shannon and Alex Chilton and Tommy Rowe, Peter Noon, the Shirelles. I was in this band that would back up these 60s act. We were the backup band for everybody. So, and I had to quit that because I had a drumstick business that took over my life, fortunately. And so I couldn't go out and do those gigs anymore. Jim Johnson, under the name of Kelvin James, the great Jim Johnson from Gypsy and the Underbeats, got to play with his last band. He's got to play with tons of different, just a lot. And, of course, the Cats Under the Stars, which morphed into the Paul Metsa group,
Which
great band.
Which morphed back into Cats Under the Stars.
Yeah, there you go.
We got Joe Loma on. We're going to listen to some people to keep this show on the air, and then we're going to have Mr. Loma on for the end of the show here on Stars Over the Prairie on the Big K.
I'm Zach, and I had Z LASIK at Weiss Eye Center. I was sick of wearing glasses. I've had glasses since third grade. Dealing with the nuisance of glasses kind of reached that point of I just need to get LASIK. I was a little nervous, but knowing now what that process all entailed, I wouldn't have been nervous if I knew. Everybody's really nice here. Not a bad thing to say about anybody. Everybody's happy, and everybody here's nice. And I mean, it's day one post-op, and I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Weiss Eye Center is the only clinic to offer blade-free Z LASIK in the Northland. To find out more and to arrange your free consultation, call 218-625-1917 today or visit weisseyecenter.com for more information. Weiss Eye Center. See the best.
You're invited to the Great Lakes Candy Kitchen, open for another season for all your candy pleasure. They're located on Scenic Highway 61, 10 miles north of Duluth in Knife River. They're third and fourth generation candy makers using traditional copper kettles to make their caramels, fudge brittles, and chocolate-dipped hot air. When you visit Great Lakes Candy Kitchen, be sure and try their famous nutty ice cream bar. Tell them you heard it on Stars Over the Prairie. Great Lakes Candy Kitchen, located just 10 miles north of Duluth in Knife River.
Rocky Wall Entertainment is thrilled to announce 6 exclusive Rocky Wall benefit house concerts featuring nationally renowned musicians in a one-of-a-kind, intimate North Country log lodge setting. We will have 6 shows this summer, and the bands generously donate their time and talent to perform these house concerts to help Rocky Wall Entertainment raise funds to fund the free Music in the Park concert series. More information and tickets available at rockywallentertainment.org/events/house concerts.
Hi, this is Liberace with my good friend Liza Minnelli.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, I didn't see you there. You can listen to us on Stars Over the Prairie with Paul Metsa on KDAL.
All right, you are listening to Stars of the Prairie. This is your host, Paul Metsa, and I got my good buddy and one of the best drummers in the Midwest, Joe Loma, on. Joe, I bet you had no idea.
Hey, Paul, thank you.
I was hanging out with Liberace and Liza Minnelli up here in the Twin Ports.
Yeah.
That's because I can roll with people. Joe Loma,
is that Liberace or Liberace? I never, yeah. Okay.
Joe, yeah, Joe, I'll do the jokes here. So, tell us about...
let me know when they're funny. I'll give you a rim shot.
We got a rim shot here. There we go.
There we go. Let's keep that handy.
Mr. Loma, I remember when you and I were playing together, and you were playing more polka gigs than I was, but I started playing bass when I was 15 at Fermugga at the Royal Bar, and then playing with Tony Perpich and the Perpetones, so I did my polka thing. But you and I would drive up to Hills Lumber and cook occasionally, and you would get dolls to make drumsticks for yourself. So tell us about the evolution of the Joe Loma branches or hot rod drumsticks.
Okay, Paul, that story is, I could write a book easily on that whole story. And what I did, I'll nutshell it. The drumstick, if you Google my name and my drumsticks, there's no association at all, because I've never done an interview or put my name with them. I guess because I was also a drummer and a vintage drum collector, I figured a drumstick maker might put it over the top. So I just let those go on their own, and they became successful. Of course, I was the wind beneath their wings.
Right.
But sometime we'll do a show on that. But it started in 1970. That's all I'll say right now, and we'll do a show on that coming up, because I promised a big heavy hitter in the drumstick business that I would do an interview with him first on him. Should I ever decide to do an interview, and this winter, I guess I should probably. It's about time.
Well, let me let me get sloppy seconds after that. But just tell the people out there, just explain what the drumstick is.
It's just it's a cross between a drumstick and a brush, and it's a bunch of tiny little wooden dowels that are banded together. And the unplugged craze is what made them famous.
Right.
So with Steve Ferrone with Eric Clapton, and then Dave Grohl with Nirvana, and then most drummers have them in their stick bag right now, and if they don't, they have a knockoff that another company is making, because the patent is only good for 20 years, so it's public domain. So you can make them now, Paul, if you want a little side hobby and come up with a little name, and
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I remember.
But anyway, Paul, go ahead.
No, I remember when you and I started. I first got to know you because you were putting on dances with the bands you were playing, and you were kind of ahead of the time and being kind of the manager and the producer and the player. And I'll never forget, you were doing a gig at the Evelyn Hippodrome, and I don't remember what the band was, but you put me on the guest list. Of course, that saved me $1, whatever it was back then. Back with the days when you were rocking a headband, I remember that. And what was the band? And tell us a little bit about how you got into that entrepreneurial part of the music business.
Well, that band was probably named Witch.
Okay.
I guess I went out there, and we have to manufacture some gigs, so I just went and booked either an armory or whatever venue in different towns, and hired the police, and did all the posters myself, and by God, I put most of them up myself. I owned the PA. It was I don't know what I was doing.
Right.
And but anyway, so they were very successful. That's how we made a lot of money on those. That really helped. The bars paid okay back then, but that's where we could make some money. So we found out the first one worked, the second one worked, so I kept doing it. And, it was pretty easy to do back then. There wasn't a lot of legal papers or nothing to really sign, or no permits or anything. You can just book an armory and put the bands in, and that was it. But anyway, let's go. A couple of things, though, Paul, I wanted to mention.
Yeah.
About the cats, because I think this is about the cats, right? The first, because I was looking in the calendars, I think my first Cats gig was in August of '77.
Okay, that sounds about right.
Art Hagee's End Zone outside of Virginia, and the End Zone was a pretty special place for the Cats. But later in that year, we went into Raji's by Wabick.
That's right.
And then in '79, January of '79, we started 6-nighters at Norman's Bar in Virginia. And once a month, we would go 6 nights there. But during this time, I was also working like the spring, summer, and fall at Reverse Mining up as an electrician impersonator.
Yeah.
So I was driving a lot in the middle of the night. And then I also saw my first Cats. My city's gig with the Cats was September 6th of '82 at the Union Bar, opening for Lamont Cranston, and the place was packed.
Wow.
And I said that was a great intro to the cities. And November 25th, at Thanksgiving, at Tim's house, Tim O'Keefe, our harmonica player, percussionist, made a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner. And then we went to watch the 16-story Northwestern National Bank building burned down.
I totally remember that. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool because everybody in the band, including Skip Bellmark, we either did construction, building the mines, or actually worked to the mines. I mean, we are a true Iron Range band with some serious legacy.
With hard hats.
Yeah, we all did. In fact, we will be playing. I'm working on a gig here, Joe, in Duluth, maybe at the West Theater sometime this fall, and then we will be at the Parkway Theater in Minneapolis on Sunday, December 28th. Joe Loma,
you are a master promoter, Paul. You are a master promoter.
Well,
I'll tell you.
It beats working for a living.
And speaking of promotions, I'd like to promote my Thursday gig this Thursday on Lake Vermilion.
Oh, yeah, go right ahead.
The beautiful Lake Vermilion. It'll be at Tavern in the Bay. Tavern in the Bay. I guess it used to be Tavern on the Bay, but it's on a steep hill. It was built on a steep hill, so it's Tavern in the Bay. And this would be with Jimmy and the Sparkplugs, which features 2 Cats Into the Stars members, me and Al Oikri on keyboards, guitar, and lap steel, and then Jimmy Birthday Boy Lane and Eric Pedersen. So that's this coming Thursday. So if you're cruising around Lake Vermilion over on the tower end, stop in 6 to 9.
You know, I talked to Oikri just the other day, and when I heard that you and Jimmy Lane are going to be playing together, I said, that's worth just a drive up just for the humor.
Yeah, two drummers and 2 guitar players, or 2 drummers, guitar, and keys.
Of course, Eric Pedersen's great. We've only got a couple of minutes here with Joe Loma. Joe, I want to tell you how special it was for me personally to be back playing with Cats Under the Stars. I think we're the best new band at 50 years old in Minnesota, and I look forward to playing. And if I can get it all together, and if the stars align, I would love to go up to Rich Matt's studio and cut a record, whether it's 4, 6, or 8 songs. I think we could knock that off in a couple of days.
It would be great to be at Cousin Rich's studio. I have never recorded there.
Oh, it's a beautiful
wonderful
spot. I call it music from Big Green, not Big Pink like the band.
Oh, yeah, I've hung out there a lot.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
We've taken the dogs and walked around the Sparta pit in the fall when the colors are, I mean, it doesn't get any better.
Joe Loma, I'll give my best to your lovely wife, Melanie. I love her to death. And I want to tell you personally, before we play a little music from our show together at the Guthrie Theater, January 31st, 1994, we do Party to a Crime. What a pleasure it is to play with you, Joe, and have you as a friend for now going on 50 years. You are one of the swingingest Finlanders I know.
Thank you, Paul. I feel the same about you, buddy.
All right. Have a great weekend, man.
All right, you too.
Thanks.
Okay, you bet. Bye. Thanks.
1959, Cody and I running from home.
You want to say your goodbye now so everybody can listen to the song?
Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Stars Over the Prairie every week from 11 to noon on KDL 610 AM 103.9 FM. Follow me at paulmetsa.com. Paul Metsa, the Tilt Town Tight Nets, every Friday, 5:30 to 7:30 at Carmony's Irish Pub, 308 East Superior Street. And like my dad used to tell me, remember to be kind and make someone happy.
1959, went from a party to a crime. We decided to hold up Joker's electric bar, try to get a little booze.